So I'm black, as you can see. I mean, I know someone has called me white and I was flabbergasted, but I guess it's obvious that I'm black. What may not be so obvious is that I'm Kenyan. I think a lot of people watching know this because I think most of my viewers are Kenyan. And yeah, the other thing that is not so obvious is that I come from one of the 42 tribes of Kenya, and it's the Kikuyu tribe. It's apparently the largest tribe, though not by far. There are some close tribes that, in terms of population, and their population is decreasing slowly as the birth rates are reducing. But one unique thing that I realized is known internationally, I thought it was a Kenyan thing, is that our tribe is destroying this country. Apparently, that's the rhetoric that is going on at an international level. Like I met I met someone from was it Sudan, and he knows about the Kikuyu tribe. He actually asked me, "What tribe are you?" And like Kikuyu is like, "Oh, you're the ruling tribe in that country. Apparently, you've been doing a lot of injustices to the other tribes." And I get that point of view. It's shared by a lot of Kenyans and some other tribes. People from other tribes will share that with me. That the Kikuyu tribe has a lot of power in this country. Apparently, we are the businessmen of the country, so apparently we control the economy and all that. So that's kind of something that we don't leave the economy onto the other smaller tribes or something like that. And also, our tribe has produced three of the five presidents of this country. There's only one other tribe which has produced the other two presidents. So, out of the five presidents of this country have had, only two tribes have produced those presidents. So I guess it's kind of not balanced because if you take the other 40 tribes and compare them to the two tribes, the 40 tribes are the majority. They are not. It's not like these two tribes occupy like 60 or 70% of the country. So, but the one thing that I think the Ku tribe is blamed for is whatever happened after independence. Apparently, our tribe decided to take over all the resources in this country, all the mining areas, all the farming land, all arable and unarable land in this country. Apparently, we do love to have large pieces of land. And this stereotype was perpetrated by the first president, who was Kikuyu, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. Apparently, he amassed millions and millions of hectares of land for himself after independence. He did exactly what the white people were doing while they were in this country. That is taking away land and keeping it themselves. Apparently, he was ruling in such a way that he was a leader of the Kikuyu people first, other than a leader of the country first. I cannot vouch or disagree with these sentiments. I wasn't born then, and all I hear are stories from that time. But I think it's widely known he has a lot of land, which even his son, the former president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, refused to disclose when there were presidential debates at that time, which just gives you an estimate of just how much it is. The outrage it might have sparked might be worse than him losing the presidential seat. So I don't think he deemed it very smart to disclose that. But it's in the millions. Sometimes they give out thousands and thousands of acres of land for no reason, or just as a means of charity or something like that. But apparently, we as the Kikuyu people have benefited from this, and we have benefited from being given big government positions, like our grandfathers, because that is a generation that was there during independence. Apparently, got large pieces of land just because of being Kikuyu. And like the president took all his cronies and his allies and his family members and gave them large portions of land, gave them government contracts for building stuff and running the mining industries and all that, and made sure that Kikuyus are the top tribe in the country. That's the rhetoric that goes on. And that rhetoric also goes to me, whether I benefited from this thing or not. Like once I pronounce that I'm a Kikuyu, that mindset just comes up. It's been less since the since the current president came in and the deputy president was ousted. The Kikuyu are not in the top positions of the government for the very first time. So the rhetoric has gone down. But this has been the sentiment for most of the years that I've been alive, that Kikuyu people are destroying this country, they are taking over and they are holding all the resources so that everyone remains poor and down there where they remain at the top and controlling everything. But I feel offended when I get that rhetoric because I, people make me feel like I received everything I have on a silver platter. Like I received everything I have without working for it. Just because I'm Kikuyu, I'd walk into an office and get some money, walk into an office and get some land, walk into an office and get a job. At least that's how I saw it, and how that's how it felt. And the attacks felt personal. And someone, I remember a friend of mine, not even a stranger or an enemy like that, just a friend of mine saying, hey, the son of Uhuru. I'm like, no, Uhuru doesn't know anything about me, and he probably doesn't care. He doesn't know I exist or something like that. You cannot associate me with him. Like I'm an individual. I have a life that I've lived alone. And I've worked hard for everything that I have. At least that's what I believe. I don't think I was given anything. Like I worked hard in school. I tried to do my best in school. I went to a local primary school where the resources were scarce and it was deep in the village. There were not so many schools around or anything like that which were great. And they weren't better than schools from other areas. And I didn't inherit anything, and neither did my father. My father didn't inherit anything from his grandfather. At least not the wealth they're saying was given to us by the first president of the country. I guess he gave the wealth to some people, some Kikuyu people who I don't know, but my grandfather didn't get anything. My grandfather was a civil servant, apparently cleaning toilets in government offices. That's how he earned his living. Minimum wage, I would say, just barely enough to take his kids to school and have a normal life. It wasn't even normal, it was just a low class life. My father was even ashamed to say what his father does for a living at that time. Because that's how the job is. After he retired, that's when he got his retirement benefits and was able to buy a small plot of land, I think 1 acre, in a very remote place where land was very cheap, and a small wooden house with 2 bedrooms at that time and a sitting room and a kitchen outside. So that's the life. That's the life. My great grandfather didn't have anything my grandfather could inherit also at the same time. We have lived in very poor circumstances, a very poor environment. We worked hard. Like my high school, like I didn't pay for primary school because the government made it free at that time for everyone in the country. High school, I went and got a scholarship. It was from a white man, for a Canadian man at that time. I went to high school. I went to uni in Canada at that time. I also got a scholarship from Mastercard Foundation. None of these were government offered things. They were an international organization coming to the country to help. I would say the white man really helped me at that point. So I'm grateful. Though I might share some things later on to explain further. But it does hurt. It does hurt, and I feel like I've been oppressed. But then, so I was completely against it, and I really hated people who thought I had the privilege of being Kikuyu and earning everything just because of my name or because of my status. So I had hate for that, and I really supported my community at that time. I was like, "There's nothing we have done. We are all right, and we don't have to be apologetic for anything in this world because we work hard. Apparently, we are the businessmen of the country. We do work hard in our businesses. We do work hard in everything else. My village didn't have electricity until a few years ago, so the roads were made of they were dirt roads until a few years ago. The shopping centers were far away. There was only one bus that was passing there in the morning and in the evening. There were no matatus, no motorcycles, no anything. Very underdeveloped area. We survived fully on farm produce and all that. Like we were living like I remember I had one pair of shoes for like 4 years. When I wasn't wearing shoes, I was walking barefoot, playing with the other kids, going to the farm to farm, looking after cattle. Our cattle would die and everything, and it would be very sad. Chicken would die and everything. We were farmers, we were struggling, and we were doing our best that time. I didn't see the privilege, at least not personally, but I've been grouped into this group where I'm a privileged person and I get what I want just by being who I am, just because of my descent. Then I went to Canada, and I thought I was over with the tribalism stuff, and I was excited. I was like, at least I can live here in peace. No one is gonna tell me I'm Kikuyu and therefore I'm being unfair to them just by existing. But I found a similar rhetoric because I found the Black Americans, or as you'd call them currently African Americans, they had the same story. The system is rigged against us. The system is here to put us down. This system instituted by white people was created so that we remain down and will never rise up. And every white person is responsible for everything, including including colonization, including slavery, including low academic rates in the black community, including the violence against women and kids and robberies and everything. It's all because of the system that the white man created at that time. That's the rhetoric that's going on. There is systemic, they call it systemic racism, which I didn't know existed at all. That just because you're black, you are denied resources in the country. You are denied jobs just because once they see you black, they don't want to associate with you. Like they have put the black people down in every sector. No matter how hard you work, you can't rise to wherever you want to be because this position, the top positions, are reserved for white people. Like it's a white country with white rules. If you go to jail and you're black, you get a 35-year sentence, or a white person gets a 10-year sentence for the same crime because the jury is all white, the judges are all white, everyone is white, and no one is willing to understand you as a black person. No one is fighting for you apart from yourself. And even through fighting, this country has already been owned. This country has already been divided. This country has everything to ensure that the top remains the top. The rich are the whitest, like the top 20 richest people are white, or maybe even top 100. There's less than one or two people who are black at the moment. So the government really everything puts you down, and I felt it. I felt it. Before going there, though the black the African Americans were just complaining for no reason. Like they're living in a first world country. I come from a third world country. They should appreciate. There are so many opportunities, but those opportunities are not available for everyone. And I realized that. I went for an interview, very excited to go for an interview. I applied and I had a very good resume, and they were very excited about me. Once they saw me, they didn't even want to give me an interview. They didn't want me to be associated with their business, and I could feel it. And I feel it. Even I would feel it when I'm walking. People walk far away from me. People want to sit far away from me. People just want to have a normal conversation, like a 1 minute conversation with me. No one wants to know whatever is going on deeply with me. So it's like some are afraid, some hate me or something like that. That's how it felt. And I remember that Kenyan story. It hit me. I'm like, this is a familiar story. I've heard this story before, but this time I'm on the other side. Now I'm on the side of the other 40 tribes now. Now I'm the one below it. I felt the weight of being a minority in the country. Or not even just being a minority, just being oppressed. I felt it. My academics meant nothing at that time. It doesn't matter how smart I am. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good my character is. Apparently, they say this because I've heard this a lot in the media and everything. That we don't judge you based on your color. We judge you based on your character and morals and everything. That's not true. It doesn't work that way. Morals and character will not get you far. It might someone might look at it, but they first look at your skin and they see it and they dismiss you. They put you in a group. They put you in a they put you together as one group. No matter you can't stand out. Like you have to find a group to belong. So I had to find my fellow black people and associate with them because I can't fit into this group. I have to find the people who are suffering like me and uh, going through the same things I'm going, and try to find a way forward. Just to find a way to survive, even if we are just comforting each other based on the atrocities we are going through. It's something. It's a community, and I started to understand what the other tribes were feeling, and it hit me. It hit me. This is the same story, and I was wondering, should I also judge these people the way I was being judged? Like take everyone at face value and say, because I think that's why a lot of white people complain. Maybe the white supremacists especially, and the conservatives who are not white supremacists, but they're also anti this rhetoric of some sort. Some will argue that not all of us own slaves. Apparently, there was this YouTuber called Matt Walsh saying less than 1% of white people own slaves. So you cannot blame all of us for slavery at that time. And not everyone practices systemic racism, I would say. Personally, I was sponsored by two white people. Not two white people. One was a Mastercard Foundation, which is an American organization. And the other one was just a regular old white guy from Canada at that time. So there are some who are not necessarily trying to put you down, and they're trying to help. There are so many charitable organizations coming to help people in these third world countries all the time. I don't know their motives or anything, but they're helping. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. But it's the same story. It's the same story I had, and I started wondering: should I be worried about my tribal privilege? Should I disown it and try to include all the other tribes into the affairs of the country? I don't even have the capacity to do that. I'm not in a position of power or anything. What can I do? So I didn't know how to feel about these white people, especially. Should I be angry at them? Should I be resentful of them? Should I alienate myself from them? Should I blame them for everything I'm going through? Because I was blamed and I felt it was wrong. Is it right for me to do it? I don't understand. Just make your conclusion. I don't know.